All right, everyone. I'm going to jump into Work Planner here by going up to this Plan drop down and then select Work Planner. And we'll start on the top left here. You can see that there's a place where you can choose what season you want this to be for. For our purposes today, I'm going to be creating a spring planting plan, so we're going to stay in 2021. So you can create a plan for tillage, seeding, application, or harvest. And to create one of those particular ones, you just click on the tab that you want. And then up here at the top right, we'll just click Plan Seeding. All right, so we'll select what crop we want to plant. So I'm going to plant some corn, and I'm going to select this variety here. And for a product, I'm going to put on a little starter fertilizer. So I'm going to put on this 2021 irrigated corn starter. And the reason that these are available here is because we entered them using the products function in Operations Center. So if you want to have your varieties and products loaded, you need to go ahead and do that in products. All right, so at this point we could go on and we could just click next, but I want to get a little more specific. So if I click on this arrow that says more details, it gives me the option to put in machine, implement, and operator. So I want to use this 8R370 here and my 16 row planner. And I want Parker to do the job. All right, so in here I'll put in, whatever work order we're referencing here. And then maybe I'll put in some instructions like, go ahead and plant the headlands first. Okay, so after that we'll hit next in the bottom right hand corner. All right, so here we have the option to choose which fields that we want this work to pertain to. So whatever field we select, that's the field that when he pulls into it, it's going to recognize the boundary and it's going to pull up the planned work for it. So in this case, we're going to do this east half field here and hit next again in the bottom right. And so now we have the option to do guidance lines as well as to set the rates for what we want. So I can set this manually. I could go seeds per acre and I could just type in 28,000 here. Or since we created a prescription in the last section, I can go here and go select prescription. And I'm going to put in that prescription that Parker made last session. And I'm going to tell it that that prescription is in seeds per acre. So on the starter, I'm just putting a little pop-up on, so we'll do 6 gallons to the acre. And up here toward the left, you can either include all guidance lines, or you can go down here and select individual guidance lines. I'm going to choose this north-south line since it's the only one we have in this field. If we had multiple lines, we could choose just the ones that we want our operator to use. And you see over here, there's this star button. And that's the first guidance track that's going to be selected when the operator gets to the field, which means that we can basically tell him that we want him to start planting north and south. And we'll click Save here at the bottom right. So once we click Save, we have now our work shows up under the Seeding tab. If I had tillage, all the planned work that we had for tillage would show up here. But for now, all we have in here is seeding. So as you can see, we've got some details about the job. And over to the right here, we have this arrow, and that can be used to go in and edit this after the fact. So maybe we wanted to change varieties, or we changed our mind on our starter blend. That's no problem. We can go in and change it. So click up here at the top left, and we can change some of the field details, change what guidance line we want, even change the rate that we have. So if you make any changes, go ahead and hit Save here at the bottom right. And so now that we have this work plan, we need to send it to the machine. So click the checkbox over here on the left-hand side and click Send to Equipment up here at the top right. So as you can see, we have a couple different machines that are JD-Link enabled. If a machine is JD-Link enabled, it will show up here under All Connected Machines. And you can see that since we put this 8R370 in this work plan, it says assigned to work. So it's going to say, hey, I see that you put this tractor in here. probably want to send it to that tractor. So please keep in mind that this only works for Generation 4 displays, and they must be on software 10.18 or newer. So you may also hear 10.18 referred to as 20-3. They're both the same thing. So if you don't have the right software, you'll see right here it says firmware update required. That just means that we don't have the software that's required to run Work Planner, and so we'll need to update those machines before we can send work to them. So after we're done selecting which equipment we want, then we're going to go ahead and click send. And so at this point, there's a couple different options. So obviously we've just sent this via JD Link, which is pretty seamless. But you know, if we had a Generation 4 display and a tractor that maybe doesn't have a JD Link modem, we're going to go ahead and we can go to files and we can download that file just like we would a setup file onto a USB drive and go out to the machine and upload that work. So in this case, we're just going to click done. And so once the operator completes this field, this plan is going to go away. If we're doing it manually, we can just check mark it and we can click complete. And as you can see, it just disappears. So we can also use that functionality to delete work, you know, if we made a mistake or we're just trying something out, we can use a delete function as well. So what does this look like for the operator when he pulls into the field? So as you can see, we've got our Gen 4 display here. In this case, it's a 4600 out of that 8R370. And you can see over here at the top left that we're just doing a demo field, and I think we had some kind of spreader attached to it. So, you know, completely wrong implement and wrong field for what we want to be doing. But what's going to happen is when that file goes to the tractor, this message is going to pop up at the top. It says file received and it's ready to import. So the easiest way that we can import the file is to click on our clock button. So let me go back here. And this clock button up here, we call it the notification center. You'll see that when a file comes in, you'll have a little piece of paper here with an arrow pointing down, and that means there's a file that's come in that you can go ahead and download. So if you click on that, it's going to pull up this screen. And you can go down to the received files and click on it. And once you do that, it'll ask you, do you want to import it from a USB? Or in this case, we want to import it from our received files. So click next, and then we'll go work setup. That's the one we want, so we'll click on it and click next. And it is setup data. We'll click next. And then it says it's successfully imported. So now when we pull into the field, the operator is going to see this. He's going to say, hey, I know where you're at. Here's some planned work for this position. And he can verify that everything looks right. So under work details, you can see any notes that we had put in. And all the operator has to do is hit OK. And so once he hits OK, then all of our information is filled out. So I did nothing other than send this Generation 4 display a work planner file and then hit OK after I pulled into the field, and it's put the correct field name in, it's put in the correct tractor, correct operator, correct implement, crop, variety, and rate. So this is a great way to simplify the process of when you're in the field setting up. So Work Planner is a great solution to making sure that everything gets put in correctly in the same way every time. Really keeps your operation center account nice and clean and helps you keep track of exactly what's going on in the field. So planning work is also available in the Operations Center mobile app, and that is going to be covered in a later session today. So thank you.